Welcome. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and/or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and/or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. How's everyone doing this evening? We have a bit of a different show today. It's not really back or pause. We're going to be going over some things, is basically what's going to be going on this evening. We're going to be talking about basically the after effect of crowdfunding as well as the effect of crowdfunding. We spend so much time on this show always just bringing you exciting projects, and we love doing it. Don't get me wrong. We're going to continue to do that. But we don't really talk about what you do next. And I thought it'd be a good time. We don't have a lot on the show. I've been busy for a couple days actually doing what we're going to be talking now about today. I've been doing fulfillment of the Continuum Kickstarter. So we're going to go over what that looked like and how everything went down this week while we're doing our list. So there's going to be no pausing. Everyone on the program today is going to get the ability to have their video played. It's going to be a little different this week. So we're going to start this. I'll tell you about the journey of fulfillment. And in between there, we're going to play the videos and we're getting your shout outs to people in crowdfunding right now. So let's start. Last Thursday, as you guys may or not have known, we got the books. They came in. Me and Mike Seeley got the opportunity to pick them up straight from the printer. And we sent this out, letting people know that we were going to be here, be where we're going to be so they can pick up the books. Now, normally, once I get the books, I go into direct, okay, let's get these books out. Let's do fulfillment. That would have been my weekend. But it had been the first time in a long time that there was a Comic-Con forecast. And I was part of it in two different ways. So after picking the books up on Thursday late in the afternoon, I was ready to hit the road by Friday, and Friday we had our problems with the weekended show. It was not the smoothest weekend we ever had, but we made it work, and then we talked about the forecast. So here's the deal. You just got to find a way to make it work. So I knew I had to put off fulfillment, and it bothers me because as a creator, you guys who pack these projects are amazing. You keep the wheels going around. You are the most important part of comics are the fans. And I can't express that enough. And I love every one of you guys for what you do, for being out there, for being fans. I appreciate all of you for it. So when I get the books in, I want to get them to you immediately, as fast as humanly possible. But in this case, I knew it just wasn't going to be possible. It didn't mean over the weekend. During this, we weren't able to get the books out. As a matter of fact, we were able to deliver at the local Fort Myers con several copies to the backers who came out to see us. And I really appreciated that. I appreciated the fact that you all came to visit us. So that, and that's how fans and creators are interacting, and we can interact now and can be part of each other's lives again, thanks to these conventions coming back. So I spent the weekend doing convention stuff. So the fulfillment, we have to wait till Monday. And we'll get to Monday in just a minute. But first up on our list, we want to give a shout out to Apex, which successfully funded this weekend. Congratulations to Ben Cook, Chuck, for his efforts, because he runs the Bonfire Press that was part of it and was the reason that was able to get funded this past, well, not the reason, but he was instrumental in helping it get funded. Let's put it that way. So that was definitely something that I think was interesting. So we're going to move on to the next part of our story. So Monday comes along, and it was time to do fulfillment. So here, let's get fulfillment done, right? New spinner rack showed up during for those of you who saw the live video, saw that I was using a spinner rack. We're actually using a magazine spinner rack, trying it out this season. So this is what I did. I filled this full of all the orders. So what does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 10. So it is able to take 40 orders by itself, but I doubled up some of the orders because we had something like somewhere in the high 70s, if not low 80s. I didn't know, it was high 70s because we'd gotten rid of some we're not getting rid of, but we had fulfilled over the weekend. So I had filled this rack, and some of them I'd put 2 or 3, depending on what it was, especially if it was the same reward tier. So I filled this entirely up. The reason you're not seeing it is because there were names on it, and I don't want to out anyone, and I don't want to show anyone's personal information. So I took the pictures early and showed you this is what we're going to do. Using this to help all the orders ready by end of day, to get all the orders ready by the end of the day, and we will fulfill full of orders. This will be full of orders. First, I have to print all the invoices and then get the books together. Then we go into shipping. So here's what I like to do with the invoices. I go to the Kickstarter screen and I print 2 copies. I use 1 copy to basically keep it on the package no matter what happens until the shipping label is adhered to. And we'll get to the shipping label later. But I put that on the package. The second invoice is to remind the person what they backed, and it gives me an opportunity to communicate with the person. I like to personally write on that invoice from Kickstarter, "Thank you," and sign it. At bare minimum, it's a thank you. The more personal relationship I have with the backer, the more personal the message gets. But I want the backers to know how much I care about them. So what I'll do is those invoices then become part of the package. So I fulfill the package. And using this rack was amazing. It was a time saver. I was able to do things so much quicker than I've ever done in the past. Mind you, I have fulfilled over 12 campaigns, 13, 14 campaigns at this point. I've fulfilled a lot of campaigns. I don't even know how many. I know it's over a dozen. So this was the easiest method I'd ever had for fulfilling. Usually I had done it with boxes or done it on a bed or a table. This made life really easy to be able to spin it back and forth. Magazine rack by itself, right in that moment, paid for itself by the easy inconvenience, especially after the weekend. I'd had my back was already hurting. And one thing I do want to stress is when you guys are doing fulfillment, take breaks. Don't try to key-man it. Don't try to push through in one day. There's going to be a lot of awkward sitting. You're going to be doing a lot of signing. You're going to wind up have a tendency to try to sit on the floor and do some of this. Always do it on a table. Don't put pressure on your back. Do it somewhere where you can put your elbows down and give your upper back a rest. Those are just little pro tips from doing all this. And this spinner rack really was able to do it because I could sit in this very chair and just put the books in very carefully. I hadn't board and bagged the books, and we'll go over why in just a minute. But first, we want to give a shout out to Sophia Saturn. Sophia Saturn has successfully funded over the weekend, and we want to give them a huge shout out and congratulate them for the hard work that they did. KJ, amazing series. You earned this one. So we're not going to play a video. Oops. We're not going to play a video for something that successfully funded. We'll get to videos, I promise. So then the next part of our journey was, you guys can see, it was fulfilled. So there it was, the Continuum magazine, which I have a comic book, which I have right next to me. In print, you guys will see it in a few minutes. I want to show some stuff after we play a video, actually. So there it is. Those are, you can see the fulfillment. I took the awkward angle so you guys couldn't see who was there. And this is the beginning of my room exploding, and the little papers wind up on the floor because you're ripping things and opening things. You're like ripping cardboard to separate things. I wanted to make sure that the orders were separated if I needed to. So you have a lot of stuff, and we'll go over all the stuff you need. But at this point, everything has been sorted. So with that in mind, we're going to head over to Lead City and check out the video for Lead City. What do you guys think? So here it is, Lead. right, so last we let off, we were here. So the next step in our process, of course, becomes signatures. Remember I said, well, there was another part of it. We'll get to that, why I didn't board and bag it. It's because when you can sit around and sign the books, that matters to people. So that's what we wanted to do. Mike came over my house. Mike came and hang out with me. There he is signing, where we set things up. We had King Grimlock looking us over. Signed every backer copy together. Went over the backer things. This was outside of Cthulhu Invades Oz. I generally have done fulfillment all by myself. It was nice to have Mike around. We were joking. It was a good time. So if you can work or get together with other creators to do this fulfillment process, it did make it fun and interesting, and we had a blast. We were up until way too late signing books and having fun and just talking about things that we wanted to do in the future. It was a great opportunity to bond over the experience of this successful campaign. So Mike got to sell all this. This was his first project. I really appreciated being able to hang out with Mike and sign the books and see his excitement, because this was his first campaign, and he even got to ask me questions, which was nice because Mike wants to learn. He's a student of the game that is the comic book industry. So we signed all the books. And when we get back from this next video, I'll tell you what the next step was in the process. But for now, let's check out Wolfsbane, issue number 1. Let's see what this video has for us. You guys can back that today. That should be ending May 10th. So time is running out, just 5 days to go. So make sure that you go out and check that out. By the way, didn't even realize this when we were doing it. Lead City successfully funded. I noticed that during the break. So that was my bad. We didn't actually have to watch it, but life happens. So what are you going to do? So the next process in this is you once you sign it, you have to go to the shipping aspect of it. So you sign the books, and this is where it all gets funky. So and you got to have the right tools. You're gonna need yourself a scissor, which I don't know where my scissor is. It might be in a box. Oh no, here it is. So get yourself a nice scissor. Sorry, I dropped something. Get yourself a nice scissor, nice big scissor. Tape. This tape is going to be good for your board and bag. It's going to be good to even the inner part of the Gemini mailer. And I'll zoom myself up for this part, so I want you guys to see this. So we'll take care of that. So here we go. Scotch tape. Get one of these. Get one of these holders too. You don't want a handheld one. Sometimes your hands are going to be busy. Invest in that. Tape. Make sure you get the packing one. Here you go. There we go. Make sure. Here we go. Okay. Right. So that's going to be your packaging tape. And what I'm talking about with that is make sure you have a handle. So when you're pulling it, you can cut it. Again, makes life easier. You want to get yourself, level up, get yourself the Gemini mailers. Uline is not as good. That's like saying, we all know that certain brands pull off brand supremacy. There's a reason we talk about it, because they did a really good job and it wasn't their name. Like crowdfunding is synonymous with Kickstarter right now. It's just the reality of the situation. Think of ketchup, you think of Heinz. Think of shipping materials, you should think of Gemini. Think of it as the Coca-Cola, if you will, of actual protective gear for your books to go out. And it lives up to the hype. So here you go. You get this sent into your book. It's just a piece of cardboard. Doesn't look too fancy yet. Here you go. And I'll move back a little bit to pull this off. So here we go. So twist down. Your book goes in the center. And what you're going to want to do with your book, you want to board and bag it. And there's the continuum. Look at that beautiful thing. Look at that. You got karma. You got the sword. You got wolf. You got, trying to move my fingers out of the way. You got eclipse down here. You got reapers, and you got Barbara and a monster of cosmos. Look at that cover. Amazing stuff. Russ Leach did an amazing job. All these great stories got to be sent out the right way. So they got to be sent out in a bag. So you put it in a bag, and for the process of this, we're going to do this. So, and then you just come over here, and the problem with doing this, you got to watch out for, is never put your comic face down. So if the comic were in here, you don't want to put your cover or any part of the comic to go here, because you will get possibly an indent in the comic. Because remember, they're going to stack things when this is shipped. That's what's going to wind up happening. So they'll indent your comic. So make sure you're putting the board bag back here. Now, this is also why I do the other step. I use bubble wrap. See behind me? See that giant roll of bubble wrap right there? Behind me, you see the empty boxes. Well, it's where the comics used to be. Thank you to Comics Impressions for the great job of printing the books. Here we go. Oops. So there it is, Comics Impressions. So one of the reasons I do the things I do the way I do them with the bubble wrap is it'll protect the comic, right? It gives it extra protection. Anything lands on it, it's not going to dent as easy. It's going to give it protection. It's also going to give it almost a moisture barrier. God forbid, get some water. For a while, I used to, when you make the full thing, so let's pretend this was put in here. I'm just going to put this to the side. All right, we can put it in here. So, and mind you, I'm doing this standing up. Like, this is how actually simple it is. So you do this. Remember the Scotch tape? I tape it onto the bag. You come over here. You lock it down. You lock it down. Put tape right there. Put it out here. And tape it. So now what I do is tape across here. Get that little envelope thing. Make sure you bend it into the insides. Give it that a little bit extra protection. I used to put tape into the crack here. One of the things that people were telling me is that it was getting dirt in there, and it was sticking with the thing, so it would slip through because, you know, it would crunch and all that. And when you're doing it too, just as a heads up, try to get it as square as you can. See how you come down here, and you can kind of play with it and get a little more square. You want it to sit as tight as it can, so there's not as much movement. So I used to tape there. I found the bubble wrap protects it, so I don't need the tape. Then what I do is this would be taped here, and I do a tape across the box and hold it open. And it's ready to ship. So then I take that form that I have. Remember I said earlier that I printed the form? Sorry, you can't see who it is, but you can see there's writing on it. I tape it on here, and then it goes into the box for the next step, which is the shipping label. But that's how I do it. I put stickers in it if we have stickers. Obviously, if you have a T-shirt, you're going to have to go a different way. This isn't meant for T-shirts and stuff like that. So when we get back after we check out Stellar Odyssey, I'll continue giving you guys the heads up on what you should do next and the different things. And I hope you guys are learning something tonight, because someone had requested that I do something like this. So I figured tonight would be a perfect night to take a little bit of time, as I've been so entrenched with doing this. So here we go. This is the Stellar Odyssey. I'll be right back after the other side of this, and we'll talk more about the actual process of fulfillment. All right, so here it is, the process, and that looked like a great video. Looked like a lot of fun, great art. So here's the process. It's on my page, and I'm putting it in this week's back applause, which I named on purpose so everyone could get it, so everyone could see it. This is named comic book crowdfunding and fulfillment. So when you do a search for fulfillment on my site, this will pop up so you guys can see so I did it step by step. Well, it's not a video and I just did it now. It's also a step by step if you ever need to refer to how it looks and how it looks when it's done. So, and then you just put it in a box, and there you go. You see all the little notes that's whose it goes to. And now at this point, remember, I've taken that other note, the other invoice, I should say, and I've signed it. I've signed it. I've said that thank you. But again, personal relationship. I've put in a little anecdote. So some of you guys are going to be getting little things saying, and those are personal moments between me and you guys. So I enjoy sharing them, and I know people like the little things I write sometimes. So hopefully you guys enjoy the message I sent you and the thank yous. They're very sincere. So now we're at the process. Everything's together, and you have to go to shipping. And when we get back from the Sword of Justice Kickstarter that's going to be shown right now, we'll talk about how I mail things and why I do it the way I do and why I think it works, and it's being a choice for you guys to do, but definitely something worth talking about. We'll be right back.
Sword of Justice.
Hi there, I'm Silvio Spotti, creator, writer, and artist of Sword of Justice. First, thank you for your support on issues 1 and 2. Your help was essential so that we could make this project a reality. This 3 issues miniseries is the first story arc detailing the adventures of Rina, Muriel, and Tenet as they continue their adventure on a future Earth. Now issue 3 is the staggering end. You don't want to miss that. It's a great battle. You have 3 great covers, 1 by Citizen, 2 by Rafael Angeles, 3 by me, interior color by always great Veronica Lopez, and Rafael Angeles is painted by Ivan Nunes, the great Ivan Nunes. As usual, we already have half of the book already inked and lettered, and the editor is, of course, John Taylor IV and Top Secret Press. The book will be delivered as fast as we can. So please, join this great adventure. Read, collect this Sword of Justice.
All right, that looks fantastic. Definitely love for Silvio Spotti. It's not easy when you don't have the language under your grasp for an audience that only speaks English. I grew up in a bilingual family. A lot of credit to him. Got through it. Very passionate person. Definitely wants me to back Sword of Justice, now available on Kickstarter. So, all right. So we're at this point now where I got everything together. I got it all packed up, and it's time to ship it. So what do? I use Stamps.com. They are not a sponsor. I swear to you, they're not. I do this because it works, because you can calculate your extra postage and what your postage is going to be. You can get a discount by having their program. You can print the labels depending on, again, they offer you different things, and it all depends on how much you're going to be doing. And they even give these sheets that you can use when you have this, instead of going to the post office and having to sit there and have someone type things in and do all that. Instead, you make these labels. And I can't show a label because obviously these labels they have, information on it that I'm not going to be sharing. But the labels look like just a regular packaging label. You've seen them. You can get the sticker, the thermal printer ones if you want. I like to get, right now I'm using the ones that I print, and I get those sleeves that I should have probably had at your local post office you do, and I'll look to grab one between now and I don't think we have another video, to be honest with you. but I'll look to get it. But yeah, stamps.com. It's the features, it's the convenience of being home. And now most post offices will tell you can't bring a lot of different. You can't bring all your books. The limit to how many they'll accept in the post office itself. So keep that in mind. So this just makes life easier, especially when you're dealing with a lot. Hold on. Sorry. When you're dealing with a lot of products, it makes your life easier. Here's the window. So you put your printed thing right in this window, you just attach it, and you send it out. It really can be that simple. Notice I'm wearing this shirt. I wore this shirt specifically to remind you guys to dress comfortably. Dress in clothing that, you don't really care if it's, a little dirty. Maybe you'll get a marker on it, a box, tape on it or something like that. I'm not talking grease from an oil thing, from like an oil change, but, you might want something comfortable that you can just kind of hang out and do that. You label it up, you get your little printout, and you head over to the post office. And while we head to the post office, we want to give a shout out to John Wilson Presents the Pneumatic Case 1 through 3 Sleuthing Steampunk Spouses, the 3rd issue, and a steampunk mystery comic series, story of deduction, seduction, death, and pistons. Check it out now on Kickstarter, now through May 30th. All right, so now we're at the very end. Here we go. I know parting is such sweet sorrow. So now you just head over to the post office. Sometimes you're going to have to ship things that don't fit. Someone's gotten a T-shirt, they've gotten a special package, or if you're running the campaign, you might have to send co-creators books. I suggest using priority mail. It gives you not only instant insurance, gives you tracking data, and it gets the books to someone quicker. And these are good boxes to use. They fit comics perfectly. This is the media one. I find it works really well. So send your co-creators the books they need and take the rest of them there. All of those, all I had to do literally was hand a slip. And let me see if I have a slip right here. So I don't think it says anything. Okay, this does not, I'm going to hold these things. This doesn't say anything major, so you just take this and here we go, scan this barcode, and then they accept it all and they put it in, and you've officially given it to them. You've done your job, you've dropped it off. Some things before we leave real quick. Something's going on with Brexit. The Brexit thing in Europe, I haven't figured this out yet. I actually have to now do some homework. I have to send 2 things to England, and apparently there's some sort of tax we have to pay that I didn't even know. Be mindful of this, guys. For those of you who are launching a Kickstarter, understand that these things are coming. It's weird. This is definitely something that is happening right now. So be mindful of that. That you want to check your shipping costs and see how this Brexit thing is done. Second, you see behind me, we have successfully sent out 75%, or is it 80? It's around 75 to 80% of all. And then there's a calculator in the dashboard you get tells you how the percent of the rewards you sent out. So I've sent out, I think, 80%, it said today. But notice behind me, you guys can see, it's not totally clear, but you guys can see the continuums behind me. This beautiful book that some of you have been gracious enough to back is your reward for showing support. You got to fill out that survey on Kickstarter so I can reward you, so I can send you this beautiful book. I mean, just look at this beautiful book. Look at these amazing pages. Look at this. Here we go. You want that. And remember, this is a collector's item because the sword story is not going to be in it. Look at that good-looking guy right there. And Keith Thomas. I miss you, Keith Thomas. Rest in peace, brother. Art by C.B. Zane. You want this? You got to fill out your survey so I can send this to you. That's a great picture right there. You want to do that. And here we go. Some love to the Reapers. C did an amazing job with that. And art that is words. How cool is that? And art actually from Meredith, and then we got the wolf back here. Check that out. Come on, you know you want this. You know you want this in your home, Karma. So fill out that survey. Your books might be behind me right now because you didn't fill out that survey. So fill out that survey so I can get those books to you, because we're literally just waiting for, I think it's like a dozen people to fill out their surveys. Few people have to wait for Mike Seeley to do sketch covers. We're also hand delivering a few books in the local area to some people, but fulfillment is done. We've gotten them out. Let us know when you get the book. Let us know your feedback. We've created a group for you guys to join. That group can be found in the updates of Kickstarter. It's meant for backers only, so I'm not going to mention the name of the book, the Facebook group here, so you guys can give us your feedback. And if you want to know more about it, because there will be announcements more than likely next week, so you're going to want to go over and join the Continuum Facebook group. Just look up Continuum Comics, and it'll bring you. We have a page and we have a Facebook group. So that's it for today. I want to quickly go over some comments that were said. Trish says, "Hey gang." Mike says, "Hello." The Ninja says, "Nice." I think we're watching a video. Good stuff on Ono. Nice looking and sound. Mike says, "See, bubble wrap." That's right. Space Odysseys are sick. Right? They really are, man. Hopefully mine is more is coming. Yeah. Yours is definitely coming. And it's not like Christmas. It'll get here sooner. I'll be waiting by the mailbox. You can give it a couple days. Well, we sent it out via media mail. So 3 days to 7 days, everyone should start seeing it. And Mike says, and he's going to finish us off tonight, says you will be a Facebook thing called Mail Call. Very cool. That I look forward to. And I look forward to your candid comments about the stories that you've seen. Mike does an amazing job of giving his insights into what he's seen when he reads these books. So I appreciate you, Mike, for all of that. But that's it. That's fulfillment. And we'll go over it really quick, and then I'm going to send you guys on your way. So first thing you got to do is pick up the books. Oops, sorry. You got to pick up the books. That's what we did. Went to our printer. Luckily, we can drive to the printer. It is literally walking distance from my son's school. So that's I'm there every day. So then you want to sort everything out. I suggest making all your different orders. Find a way, whether it be on a table, whether it be on a spinner rack like mine, a magazine rack if you happen to have one. Do that, and then fulfill your orders. Then start signing them. If you have a co-creator close enough by, even if they want to spend a night at your house and sign all the copies, do that. The backers will appreciate that you took the time to sign every book. You didn't even offer it, you just gave it, and especially if there's two of you involved in it. And of course, they can get the rest. And then, of course, your packing supplies. You want to use bubble wrap, tape, have Sharpies ready, boards and bags. And you guys can see here they are all ready to go, individual. And then one of the packing supplies that are so important for distribution is that Gemini mailer from Kickstarter. They have supported you, so support them by getting the product to them as pristine as possible. Look at that protection. Use things like stamps.com to make your life easier, save some money. Some of you might not need a $17.99 every month program. So you might just want to sign up for a trial right after you do a Kickstarter and then maybe try to do another trial. I've heard those things work. Some of you will be committed and you'll start trying to sell the books. Everyone will vary. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll tell you my experience with stamps.com. And then you head over to the post office, and you mail them out. And now the only picture I'm missing are the smiles from all the people who get their books. So that's up to you guys now. When you get the books, like Mike said, do a mail call. Send me a picture. Tell me what you thought about it. I am excited, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys thought of the Continuum. I'm so proud of this book. One quick thing we didn't talk about, and I want to talk about just really quickly. If you are going to do it from home, stamps.com sent me this scale here. I think it's a 5-pound scale. It does most of the work I need it to, and it's probably it doesn't error out. Should have errored out. Weigh your stuff. It's part of stamps.com. It'll affect things slightly, but you don't want to get it wrong. You don't want it sent back. If you're using media mail, do not put trinkets like bookmarks. If they open your package and find a bookmark, there'll be no explaining it. A sticker you can get away with. I believe pins are a little harder. Speaking of pins, I want to give a shout out to Trish, who gave Jack some pretty cool pins. He was playing with them before. She gave these little magnet pins, kind of like what I do with the Hugs and Spanks, but it's like a thicker one, and Jack's was playing with them. They look amazing. Great job, Trish. And I look forward to what Trish is going to do with her actual Kickstarter. So I'm eager with this. Her and Mike are, of course, going to team up and do an amazing job when it comes to their fulfillment. And of course, I know Mike will come ask all the people he knows, and he knows some pretty smart people around. So that's it for today. A little bit of a different backer pause. We kind of had a chill one. You can hear I'm tired. It's been a very long couple days for me. 2 shows for the first time in over a year, back to back. Haven't done that in a while. To go right into the fulfillment. My back is killing me. I'm tired. I'm going to go relax and watch some TV with my son. But I wanted to make sure we got backer pause in the books, even though it was a little different. I hope people learned about fulfillment this evening. I hope that you guys can talk amongst yourselves and ask any questions you have to. Thank you all for showing up. And remember the importance of the dollar. What do I mean by that? Let's take it out and let's take this show out of here. And we'll see you on Friday for Week Ended at 11 a.m. The power of a single dollar. One single dollar can help make dreams come true. Every dollar is a declaration of support and belief. It helps the creators and the teams behind the book. Just $1 helps create new worlds and keeps creators creating. All right, guys. We'll see you next week for another edition of Backer Pause. If you have a campaign that you want us to have on the show, well, it's really simple, guys, and I'm going to tell you what to do. And we're going to we might have to go into a different room to do it, but don't worry, I got you covered. So here we go. What I'm going to need you to do is send me an email to the Comics Newswire at yahoo.com. You guys are going to have to agree to the terms that we have and make sure that you get them taken care of. So that's it, guys. We're done. This has been Backer Pause. You're out of here. Go out there, back a campaign. If you're putting on a campaign, promote it. If you've already promoted it, now you know what you need to do. Start fulfilling it. And remember, my friends, to stay geeky.